Hello, everybody. Welcome to our nature-based school founder interview series. I'm super excited to have our guest here, Trisha. We're going to start out with a quote. This is from Trisha, and she wrote, "The mud will wash out, but the memories will last a lifetime." And I just, as you hear that, how does that land for you? Write it in the comments, what's coming up for you, how that's resonating with you. And as you do that, we are going to dig in. So, as I said before, I'm Meagan Duncan, founder of the Connected Kids Thrive Positive Behavior Guide group for nature schools. And this is Trisha Sayas. And she is the founder of, oh my gosh, I lost it. Will you tell us what you're the founder?
Nurtured by, yes, Nurtured by Nature Outdoor Exploratory School.
Nurture by Nature Outdoor Exploratory School. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear more. Before we invite Trisha to tell us all about her school, Trisha's gonna cover 3 questions for us, and I'm just gonna let you know what those are. The first one is, what inspired you to create your nature school in the beginning? What um, highlighted challenges have kind of come up for you that you've overcome? And then what do you wish you would have known at the beginning that could have kind of propelled you forward a little bit faster that you can give our audience? Because our audience is not only nature-based school founders, but they're also, maybe an educator or a parent who's thinking of creating their own nature school, or maybe it's just a parent just listening, wanting to grow and learn and do better, or an educator trying to do the same thing, just listening and growing and learning. And so with that, will you please introduce yourself and then let us know what inspired you to start?
Hello, everybody. My name is Trisha Sejas, and I am the founder, director, and lead teacher of Nurtured by Nature Outdoor Exploratory School. My biggest inspiration is I've always been outside. I've always spent time there. Most of my professional career, I've been working with children in the outdoors in some capacity. And while that's still as true now as it was when I first started, I really just noticed kind of a disconnect with our kids, whether it's a disconnect to nature or just being able to be a kid and having that freedom to sort of play and explore and ask questions and wonder. I've just seen a big sort of drop in it. Speaking from a personal experience, my daughter, when she was in elementary school, recess and outdoor time became punitive. So, if behaviors were not what was expected in the classroom, they would shorten or decrease and ultimately take away recess time because they would use it as that like reward instead of really looking at if there was challenges in the classroom, behaviors that were undesirable, instead of going outside, reconnecting the kids with nature, with that time for that free play, that break. They could have actually helped themselves a lot more, both the students and the parents, excuse me, the parents, nope, the
Teachers?
teachers
Yeah.
and the students, but instead they said, "Oh, you can't go," or we're shortening it, we're taking it away from you. And that was so disheartening to me as a parent that was kind of another drive for me that I really said, I want something different. I want something that is more welcoming for younger learners, welcoming for different kinds of learners, and that still really gives them that space to be kids and to have that exploration and that sense of wonder and awe.
Oh my gosh. I think everyone listening can totally resonate with that. Thank you for sharing the idea of taking away movement and play and just that space to reground from children as punishment and with the goal of them being able to do better. It's um, not very logical when we think about it. And I can imagine that would be so frustrating as a parent that seeing your kid being treated in this way. And yeah, definitely inspiring starting our own thing for sure. I My daughter's a pretty typical kid, but I'm a foster mom, and my foster son could never ever thrive in a typical setting. He's in a
Mhm.
very specialized school, and if he couldn't be in that school, I would be starting my own nature-based program again. I did it 10 years ago when my little one was 3. but we would be doing it again. So thank you for sharing and thank you for the work you're doing. How many kiddos do you have in your school?
I'm relatively new,
Okay.
so I at this time of year I have about five
Oh,
throughout the week.
okay.
But I also intend to keep it very small.
Mhm.
I don't want to have more than I think 12 is probably my max, and of course I will have more staff at that time. But I want to have that kind of time to interact with the students, really be there for them, really be present with them and help them with whether it's climbing a tree or, figuring out how to move their body through the pokey plants or whatever it is that they have sought as their seeking um, interest. I want to be there for them. And so I don't intend to grow past much more than like 12 or 15.
I think there's such wisdom there because today, actually, or yesterday, a founder was saying that they grew too fast and it was really, they weren't able to connect and, all in the ways that they really, so they had to downsize. I think
Mm,
after
it's hard.
they went too big, too fast, and they're like, whoa, not sustainable. We're not, yeah. So, anyways, I think that's really, really wise that you're doing that. What you shared a bit ago, and I can't remember the famous person who said this. I want to say Einstein, but I don't think it was Einstein. But, we often view children as a vessel to be filled up with wisdom. And instead, we should be looking they're a flame to be ignited. They're already in a flame. So how are we igniting them further? So, anyways, that just what you were saying earlier about, you know, um, kiddos just I think I think the light is dimming in so many of our kiddos, our young ones in chaotic four wall settings. I think that's pretty self-evident. The evidence is there, the research is there that yeah, kids need a more free, natural environment. That's just what they need. So, okay, are you ready for question number two?
Yes.
Okay. What is there any specific challenge that, and I know you're new, and that's great because before I jump into question number two, our audience is not only nature-based founders, right? Or nature-based school founders, but maybe people who want to start a nature school. I know there's a lot of viewers here that want to do that, whether they're an educator already or a parent that just they feel that drive to start a nature-based school, or maybe someone listening is a parent or an educator just wanting to learn and grow and apply maybe what they can. So that's our audience. And so, yeah, as you share, what's a challenge that you've had to overcome? They'll really take that golden nugget that you're. Go for it.
Um, yeah, so in that caveat of being new, there's a lot of learning curve about things that I've never done before. Working with children and being outside, that was the easy part. I've been doing that my whole professional career. I've worked for national parks, forest preserves, state parks. I've just been doing that most of my life. But I also am kind of a one-woman show right now. I am doing my own marketing. I'm doing my own social media. I'm doing my own website design. I hadn't ever designed a website before, and like that in of itself was like, okay, I'm tackling this now. And so, to some extent, I'm still a bit of a one-woman show, but um, I think the hardest thing is sort of trying to put on all those hats and still do and commit to what I've wanted with the children and the connectivity and being outside and not lose sight that like this has value too. We have to go slow to have more success later. And, there was a time when I was a little embarrassed, like people from my previous job would, oh, how's it going? How's your school? I'm like, oh, I've got like one student, which felt really uncomfortable. Like I'm not there yet. I'm not successful. But now those are like sort of, I guess, timelines, right? Now
Mhm.
I can say, yeah, I'm growing a lot. I had one student for 7 months last year, and now I have five, and I have a regular student who's there Monday through Friday all day with me. And, I'm starting to make some connections with different families and different advertising opportunities. And it's just sort of coming to fruition. Um, and I can look back at those challenges of like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I sure that this is going to work. Is this the right idea? Should I be putting more academics in? All these kind of stressors. But I can see my growth, and
Mhm.
I know that what I'm doing is is moving forward. And there's been a big learning curve in a lot of pieces that I had never had exposure to.
Um, Thank you so much for sharing. I think we can all resonate with that as, business owners to whatever, degree or experience that we have under our belt. We all started there. And something that I always go back to is modeling. You know, and that's what kind of landed for me as you were sharing this is we expect kiddos to grow and learn and do hard things every day, more than yesterday. And so when we're doing the same thing, it just feels so authentic and in alignment with, um, just if I'm expecting a kid to grow, I better be growing. If I am expecting a kid to take accountability, I better be doing it twice fold. So that's what I think that's amazing that yeah, honoring your process and learning curve and yeah, it getting to our goal doesn't come without any of that. So thank you for sharing. Very cool. And then question number 3, even though you're new, that's it's going to be amazing. What is one golden, or what do you wish you would have known before you started that would have, kind of trajected you a little bit faster that you can share with our audience?
I think it all kind of comes back to the idea of believe in yourself and
Mhm.
believe in what you want to offer, and that our programs, perhaps more than ever, really do have merit. They are important, they're influential, and yeah, it's not for every family, and that's okay. But we are there for the families that we are there for
Mm,
that do need us. And there's definitely been sometimes, kind of going back to that number 2 question, challenges of like having self-doubt and okay, is this really. And but truly, I think I was just needing to sort of, excuse the expression, but cut the cord, because it was like, oh, I could attend another class, I could do another thing, I could, but I wasn't doing. And so like I finally, you know, I guess my advice for people who are kind of in the same position is ultimately believe in yourself,
mhm,
believe in what you offer and the kind of program you want to offer, because it does matter and
mhm.
it is important. And your program can be similar, your program could be, a little different here or there, but you're going to have some ups and downs, especially in your own like self-worth and self accountability, but you'll get there. So,
Thank you for that. And would you say too, I mean, have you reached out and gotten help from different people to help you along the way, or have you really just kind of been on your own, trudging through one foot in front of the other, which and both
um,
are fine.
to some degree, a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because I'm newer and I don't have a big budget yet, I'm trying to be very cautious, right? So, while I could do my own website, and I did, there's other times where I'm like, okay, the social media platform, or this whatever entity. So yes, I'm going to invest in some money to have your professional self help me with this area, right? Um, and so it's been a little bit of both, and I'm kind of at a cusp right now where I've got enough students showing interest that I might need to hire an assistant pretty soon. And I did that over the summer. But then it's like, okay, now we're getting into, all these apps and venues and stuff for applications and things like that. So, and my husband and his team, his office manager that works for him is supposed to be helping me, but like I think I'm still like holding so tight onto it, because she's not in the field, she's not an educator. She is a live person who can answer the phone and basically take a message and say, we can call you back. So that is by no means meant to say anything less of what she could do. It's just I'm still kind of like holding on, like, but I'm the one out there. I'm the one in the field, and I know how this works. And so it's that in of itself is its own learning curve. Is really okay. Breathe. You can be a one woman show, but you don't
Mhm.
have to be a show off. Yeah, ask
Mhm.
for help when you need it.
Um, I feel like so many golden nuggets there. It can be hard to allow someone in that doesn't know our rhythm and value system and what we're the goals that we're going for. Yeah, I think being a nature-based educator is it's a very neat, you're right, niche market. And so yeah, it's like wanting help, but then not wanting help at the same time. I was more of a one-woman show for a while. I did get, a volunteer or two towards the end. I had to shut my preschool down because we had to move. Otherwise, I'd be still rocking it. Although I really like the journey that I'm on now. So everything turned out to be exactly what it was supposed to be. Um, okay, would you like to share anything else before we tell people how to reach out to you and support you?
I think, I've kind of said it as far as try to just don't be a one woman show or a one man show. Seek help. We tell the kids like, I'm here when you need me.
Mm,
Like that climbing the tree, we want them to be able to feel and move and have that kind of self-worth of the, accomplishment of climbing the tree, but we're always there for them. And so I think as adults, we need to do sort of the same thing. Like I can feel my struggles, but yet I know that there is help and merit in what we're doing. So
okay, so a couple takeaways. Get help if you need it. Trust yourself and be that model and lean into that. I mean, just like the kiddo climbing the tree, you're there to help them if they need it, but you're not over helping, helping them learn to trust themselves. And so that's that self-trust. I think that's the foundation here of this conversation for sure. Would you agree?
absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So how can people reach out to you and love on you?
Okay, so again, the office number to talk with a live person is 720-307-7909. Our email is info@nurturedbynatureoes.com. And I have a Facebook page and a website that's just Nurtured by Nature, outdoorexploratory.school.com. And I'm not really on Instagram, so I'll just stop with with the rest.
And you're on Facebook, though?
I am, yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
everyone listening, go to Trisha's page and follow and like, because, I remember as a nature-based co-founder, it can be lonely. We're doing the most amazing work and it can still feel isolating and lonely. We have to be careful of not crossing that boundary with our team members, and also with our parents. So it can still feel really lonely. So I will be following you and watching, you help with you working with the kiddos in your setting. Where are you?
We're located primarily in Arvada, Colorado.
Okay.
Um, but I'm a mobile forest school, so I spend maybe a month to 6 weeks at a few locations in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, which is kind of our neighboring town, and then another month to 6 weeks in Arvada. So I'm kind of switching locations. That's a couple reasons. Probably the biggest is sort of the self autonomy that children experience when in that space. So they really gain the skills and the comfort to move freely within a space, but also has an element of novel to it where they get a chance to see and explore new spaces. Kind of my example to that is that kid that loves to climb a tree really hones in on that tree every single day, climbs it, learns how to do so. But then when we move to a new space, it's so beautiful to see them really ignite that passion for climbing a tree. But now the handholds are different and the angle of the tree is different. And so they know they can climb a tree, but now we've kind of changed up the platform. I also move locations because I'm trying to be more inclusive. In my area, there is, some forest schools kind of into Golden, Colorado, into the foothills, but there was nothing really strongly in place for this area of the Arvada, Westminster, Wheat Ridge kind of area. And so, while some of my locations are a little bit farther for some families some of the time, then we move, and hopefully it's a little bit closer to other families for, to join us. And then also because I want to create stewards of the land, it doesn't really make sense to me to have a nature-based preschool and kindergarten if I'm not teaching the children how to respect the land. And so not only is every living creature have its importance and we take care of them, but we also take care of the woods that we're in. And so we move to different locations so that the environment can kind of, have its time and restore itself after we've been exploring.
I think that is amazing. And I don't hear that a lot, actually. And I think the underlying message there too for everyone listening is you don't have to have one setting. If you can, you're like Trisha has said, I mean, your program it can be anything that you want it to be. The kids are going to thrive out in nature and they're going to learn so much. So your program can really be whatever it is, and you don't need four walls or a building, depending on what, your business model looks like. I mean, if you're a full-fledged childcare, maybe you do have to have some access to four walls at some point in time. So there's definitely some logistics that you have to think
Yes, the
about.
logistics.
But the cool thing is whatever, environment that you're in is there's opportunities there. It just takes, just as Trisha has been doing, as everyone that has a school has done, and what you will be doing too. Audience listening is kind of starting from scratch and plowing your way through and getting help when you need it. And speaking of that, that is what I do. I don't necessarily help people establish their nature schools, but what I do is I come in whenever behavior challenges become to the degree that, frustrations are ongoing and you're ready to do something about those. I'm deeply a part of the fostering world. And so behavior is absolutely my jam. And that's what I help teams do, really deepen their understanding of behavior so that they can be united in their approach to children's challenging behaviors and each other's behaviors and the parents' behaviors. And so when you're ready for that, I'm going to also be putting my link below so you can join my Facebook group at Positive Behaviors Guide for Nature Schools. And then, in that group are ways to work with me. And so, um, thank you, Trisha. I so appreciate you being here and the work that you are doing. And everybody, I'm going to end with her quote again. The mud will wash out, but the memories will last a lifetime. And so comment how that lands with you, and we will keep these conversations going. I look forward to supporting you, and yeah, I guess we will say bye, and we will see you for the next series.
Thank you so much. It was
You're
great to talk with you.
welcome. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.